Hello the vinyl community and YouTube. JorgenS here again from Sundsvall that have been having a little bit of rain past couple of days. Today has been an okay day, but the past couple of days has been a little bit rainy. So I think we're getting into not all that good times when it comes to weather, but it's a good weather anyway to do some VC videos, and it will be kind of interesting the past couple of months because I have finally gotten an iPhone, a more modern telephone than I had before. So now I will be able to shoot videos from other places than just this computer or the balcony. Maybe do some shooting when I'm buying records out in Sundsvall, or if I go to Stockholm, I will definitely be filming there as well. So I have the possibility to do some more stuff now than I had before. So hopefully it will be some interesting videos. But today it will be an ordinary video, because I will address a subject that is very interesting. These kind of records that we buy if you go to a second-hand store, a flea market, and see records that are extremely cheap, or 7-inch singles. We have no clue what actually this is, so we buy it knowing that this could be a total disaster musically, or it could be really good. We call it, of course, Blindbuys. And I do some blind buys every now and then, mostly when it comes to 7-inch singles, but when it comes to the 70s I've been doing some blind buys also when it comes to full-length vinyls. And I'm going to show some examples of different blind buys I've done through the years that have really been turning out really well, that I've been finally making new artists that I will keep searching for. And I'm not talking about artists that I may have heard once and then tries a record with that artist. I'm talking about artists that I have never ever heard before. Not in radio, not on an old cassette, nowhere before. And it could be a lot of little singles, but also some full-length vinyls. Some blind buys that I have done through the years. Some of these have I only found them for around 10 cents. Old records that the flea market thinks that this is totally unknown. No one is interested in this piece of garbage, and put them out for 10 cents. And I see them and why not? I give it a try, and I have many times raised my eyebrow in happy surprise that this was actually really good. Such as this little funky single from 1980 by Peter Jacques Band. Some of you may have heard of, but to me these artists were completely unknown before I bought them. Peter Jacques Band and Is It It, and Exotically, the B-side. From Areola in 1980. Really funky and good. I had no idea what this was before I bought it. Same goes for this band, Book of Love and I Touch Roses. This is a remix from Daniel Miller, a very well-known producer. And this is from 1986. This band, I think, didn't make all that much albums, but they actually had a period of time where they had some success, I think, because they were playing as a four-band for Depeche Mode during their tour in 1985-86. But I never heard of them before I bought this single, and I think it was around 15 years ago. Normally when I do blind buys, I also try to check out if there are any signs of this album that gives any kind of clues. Is there any names on the album that or the single that may give a little hint of what kind of music it is? Maybe the label might give some clue. And that was the case, of course, in this one. Portofino and All My Love. And the clue here is, of course, the label, Beatbox. A classic Italo disco label from the 80s. So this is, of course, Italian dance music, Euro disco music from the 80s, from 1986. But it was a really, really good one, really danceable 80s tune. Some of these, of course, you will find in the description area as YouTube links, so you can check out them for yourself. This one is the oldest one, I think. I remember 1992 at the warehouse Orleans. I went in gymnasium then, high school, and the warehouse Orleans then, who had a great record department, they had a sellout of a pack of records, more or less unknown records that they had put in some kind of a secret package with the wrap papers around. So you could not know. You had to buy it and not know what it was, but you could buy it 20 singles for around $2. Not knowing what it was, and I took a chance. It was 20 singles. It was a good price, so I took a chance of it, and many of these were actually good. Some of these were so-so. I think this one was one of the best singles from that period. I still have many of these from that package still left in my single collection. This is a band called Doppelganger. I think actually they're American. I haven't found out any information where they are from, but the single are recorded in New York. So I think they're recorded in New York and mixed in London. So either a British or American. Communication Breakdown, and this is some kind of a experimental synth pop with pitched voices, and it was actually really good. It was a really, really exciting and great song. So this is definitely worth taking the risk of, because it wasn't a big hit at all, but it was really a great one. Fun to have it. Really hope to find a whole album with this band someday. It was a band called 121. And Forward Your Emotion. I had no idea what this was before I bought it. Also a single that I had for a very, very long time. I think I bought it at a record store that we had in the 90s called Förlorade Favoriter, Lost Favorites. Great 80s pop. It's from 1986. Many of these are from 86 for some reason. Boys Will Be Boys at the B-side. Here is also another great one. No idea what this was, but this is definitely a great one, especially for me who love British house music. Strongman and East West. And on the side, mix of it called West East. East West is a British house song with rap and with a really funky groove. I really like this song very, very much. Really, song that really makes me happy. Really great horns, great melody. And Jill Jones, no big hit at all. Here it was pretty easy to find out what kind of music it was when it comes to searching for clues, because it was released on Paisley Park Records, and when it looks, and it was also written by Prince, so I understood that it would be pretty funky. Prince is pretty much behind this one. Jill Jones was a singer that I think he found and then first had in his choir, if I'm not wrong, and then tried to push it as a solo career, but it fell pretty flat. It was a failure, definitely. The single here is called G-Spot, and the B-side Baby Cries. But G-Spot is a really funky and great song. Really like that song. And I was also happy that I was able to find the entire album by Jill Jones. Still released on Paisley Park, but not all songs are produced by Prince. But some of them are. And this is also a really funky and great album. So also fun when you do a blind buy with single, finds out that it's really good one, then all of a sudden you find the entire album by that artist. Really makes me happy. And also even more happy when the album like this one turns out to be just as good as the single. Here is maybe the prime example of that thing. This is a single that I found at Erikshjälpen, and costed me 10 cents because it was a totally unknown 80s band. Person to person. I hadn't heard it one bit, but in many cases, if I don't find anything, I take a look at the year. 1985, my favorite year of the 80s. Maybe that could be really something. So I took a chance of it and listened to it. Great vocal by the singer Pete Eason. And this turned out to be the single Love on the Rebound. Turned out to be a really great, funky and great synth pop, little poppier synth pop music. Really great melody. Sounds really good 80s pop. And one of the members here, David Palmer, was a former member of ABC, and he returned back to the band later on, and Person to Person didn't become all that big. I think they made only one record, and I was happy that I later on was able to find that record, Stronger Than Reason, also from 1985, and the entire album is so fantastic good, just as good as the single. Really makes me happy. And also, single that I have been having for quite some time, for I think almost 20 years. Bought it, had no idea what MOBAs were. Amour Amour and Skeleton Dance. But when I listened to it, it really was interesting and great synth pop, the Ultravox style, even with this female singer though. Really great, and took me many, I think it took me almost 20 years. I think I showed this one when I bought it in one of my first vinyl updates at the vinyl community. This album, their only album that they released from what I have read, besides one Great Sister album that they released almost 20 years afterwards. And the album is really great. They had a minor hit with Drowning in Berlin, obviously, but otherwise this was completely unknown to me. It was really great synth pop, 80s synth pop. Extremely happy to find both single and album. And I also taken my chances with some other stuff. Here is a single that I loved very much when I found it. Waterfront, The Nature of Love. Also this, I had no idea what it was. Chris Duffy and Phil Celia is the guys here. And Waterfront is actually a band, if you like JorgenS and the British little soft pop that they did during the mid 80s, around 86, 87. This one is from Nature of Love, is from 1988. Boy Inside the Man at the other side. And this song sounds very much like JorgenS. And I love JorgenS, so this one was really fun to have. Really great song. And some albums that I've taken a chance on. I'll take this pretty fast because you'll see me showing these ones. Angelo and self-titled debut. I had no idea what this was, but it turned out that he had pretty good knowledge in Chicago. He knows the band Chicago very much, and some of the bands like Pizza Terra is actually playing on this album. So it was really, really good. Here, a record friend of mine who I met at secondhand store gave me the tip of this one if I liked 70s soul music. I had no idea what Eddie Horan was, and Love the Way You Love Me. This was from 1978, and I had no idea. I bought it and I thought, okay, give it a chance. Really, really good. Here is definitely a blind buy that knocked my feet out. This is a band that really showed how little I knew about 70s soul music a couple of years ago. Because to me, the name Peaches and Herb was completely unknown. But I looked at it, and Too Hot looked very, very soulish and funky. I bought it, and it was a fantastic album. Very, very interesting. More 80s soul. Company B and Gotta Dance from 1989. I had no idea what this was. And it looked kind of soulish, looked kind of dance style of it, so I took a chance. Really good album. If you try to forget the cover sleeve, but it's really, really great album. And this is a singer that I've been shown pretty lately, Linda Clifford. Here's My Love from 1979. Also here it was pretty easy when it comes to the clue, because it's released on Cartoon, so it's has very much Curtis Mayfield style over the production. So, a little proof of different kind of blind buys that I have done that turned out to be real huge hits for me, that really have been magnificent successes. So I'm gonna continue doing some really great blind buys whenever I can get hold of really cheap records, and so it's I like finding taking chances every now and then, and finding out that, wow, this was actually really good. So I hope you enjoyed my little walk through different kind of blind buys. I've been thinking of doing a series of top 10 videos with best songs from different kind of decades: 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Maybe also. See if I do that. Maybe can be pretty interesting. So until next time, I hope that you all have a really nice continuing of what's left of summer, and take care, and bye bye.